Hello, everyone. Mackie here, and welcome to day 5 of the Mid-Season Madness team preview. We have in front of me two LCK teams, two LPL teams, one LEC, one CB LOL, and one LCS team remaining to preview. And so far, the channel has been getting a little bit more attractive, of course. We are one subscriber away at the time of this recording from 90 subs. So I appreciate if you can try to subscribe to this channel. Make sure we can get to this milestone before MSI begins, and then maybe, just maybe, we may get to 100 by the time MSI finish, or maybe the year finish, whichever comes first. So please do me a favor, smash the like, smash the subscribe button, tell your friends about this channel, even if your League of Legends knowledge is not the greatest in most of the world. Just tell them all you know and all kind of stuff. And without further ado, it is time for me to continue spinning the wheel and continue previewing. Oh, the doormat of esports, ladies and gentlemen. The doormat of all League of Legends, a team that everybody expected them to do well and then get stepped over time and time again. Oh, top esports, top esports, top esports. What devious ways they're going to do to disappoint the fans this time? Now, before I'm going to tell you how to disappoint the fans again, we have to preview the team as our custom. So, as you can see from the charts, by the way, I have not even updated the market yet. Top esports have a 2% chance of winning MSI. 2%. That's pretty much all you need to know how but their chances are. And listen, the fact that G2 esports have a better percentage than top esports just speaks of how really, really fraudulent some of the people have on top esports right now. Or some people do not even watch esports and don't even know the percentage. Either one of them true. So let's just talk about top esports in light. We got the rankings of Zuan, Tian, Cream, the returning of Jackie Love, and Feng Yuan, the brand new support. Over to Zuan. I think you can say that Zuan has having a pretty good season, to be honest. 3.7 KDA, of course, with a 58.7 kill participation and 18.9 kill shares at 20.2 deaths. Now, unfortunately for LPL stats, we don't have the gold 10 minutes nor the XPD for 10 minutes. So, pretty much like unknown with some of the stats, of course. He's got 8.3 CS per minute, which is kind of like in the ballpark of some of the best top laners, of course. 640 damage per minute, which is actually decent for a top laner, of course. 22.6% damage, which is again around the ballpark. 20.1 goal percentage with 4.44 wards placed and 0.15 wards cleared. This Zuan guy has been absolutely decent, of course. The question is, how good is he against the top dogs of maybe you say Broken Blade or Ben or Duran or maybe, some of the cases. I'm not sure. I think he's a deadly new player, of course. We don't know. I don't know. How do I say this? It's not that I don't know much about this guy, it's that the fact that I don't feel confident about him. He's a relatively new player in an international scene, representing a team that like generally fails in international events so many times. And I am not sure if he's going to be the one. I think you could say that he is probably going to be the facilitator for Tian's hard work and domination. That's probably all I'm gonna say. I think Zuan is going to be a B tier for me until proven otherwise. Until he had to show me something in the entire tournament that he can be good enough to lead a team like Top Esports to win. But then again, I think you can say the top lane is pretty much not the most important lane in this entire tournament. Although you can say that the patch changes coming up. And oh, by the way, let me just talk about the patch changes for this year. It's like, nah, 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 nah. I'm sorry I have to use AI for this, but it is what it is. It said that 26.12 said that Nocturne and Lee Sin is going to be pulled back, and Rain in Jinzhao, which means Aatrox will get a buff in his Q, and that means the teleport nerf is also going to be changed, of course, from 30% to 30 seconds to just 35% for 10 seconds for force immediate decisive cross-map plays rather than prolonged staling. And of course, now you can track your honors and all kinds of stuff. So this is from the MSI patch. This is just small inklings of the MSI patch, of course, but massive changes with Lee Sin and Nocturne being wolf. So if you're Jose Dodo and you're relying on Lee Sin, yeah, you're basically cooked, Dan. You're basically cooked. So where was I speaking with my train of thought? Oh yes, the top laners. So where do I put Zuan right now? I put him in the B tier. And King, you forgot to do the rankings and all the good stuff before then. Okay, sorry about that. Let me just do it first. Okay. Okay, let me just do this. All right, there. Now, where do I put in my player rankings for the top lane? I think he's going to be a top 3 top laner ever, but you can say that Ben and Duran international tournaments are going to be way better than him. And then don't forget Zeus, who's actually a Giga Chad in the top lane. I think you can say the top 4 is fine for him. I think you can say the top 4 is really good for my expectations for top lane for him. Now, the next player that I want to focus on is Mr. Tian, one of the most consistent junglers in all of LPL for the last couple of years, and probably one of the best junglers in the LPL. Yeah, pretty much ever right now. You look at the numbers right now, and it just shows. Let's just see where are Tian. Okay, 3.7 KDA. Okay. Okay, he'll get better. He'll get better. By the way, these are playoff stats. A 67.5% kill participation, which is not bad, of course. 23.8 kill shares. He's got 7.5 CS per minute. 446 damage per minute at a 16% damage. Hey, wait a minute. I thought TN would be good. What is going on? Goal difference of 21.2, 0.38. Oh, wait. Hold up. Wait. I thought everybody's saying that TN is a really good jungler. What happened? I mean, okay, fine. These are playoff stats. And I'm not saying that top esports lit the world on fire. I mean, this LPL was kind of like more of can BLG actually go through the gauntlet after losing to WE rather than top esports just taking care of business. And they did take care of business. I don't have nothing wrong. But I expected Tian to do well in this tournament and just knock it off, but it didn't even happen, especially in the finals, of course. So it's hard for me to rank Tian. Because on one hand, I think Tian is way better than your Skumon. Well, on a given day. He's probably better than Skumon on a given day. And Kanavi, Jun, Owner, no way. At least no way. But I think maybe better than Jun. Maybe better than Owner, consider how T1 been playing the last couple of years. So that means that Tian could be a top 2 player at least. At least. So it's really tricky. It's really tricky. I think Tian is still a good player. Yes, I know the stats does not read the entire story in the playoff versions, but I think Tian is still a really, really good jungler. One of the best junglers in the league. And probably one of the best junglers in the world right now when given a chance. Now, I think the patch notes is going to be really hurting him, but I think he has a shot to trying to bounce back and do well. So I put him at the A tier, of course. And for my junglers, I think I'm gonna go with the same thing and go with top 4. I know you're just thinking, oh, Akeem, you're gonna put Skumon on top of Tian. It's like, yeah, I get it. Call me Reese's and biases, but I see enough of Skumon in like first stand and all the international tournaments that told me that yeah, he's a real deal. So until proven otherwise, I think Tian needs to do something. Let's go with the cream of the crop, Mr. Cream himself. And we go to the numbers, by the way, on Cream. He has a 5 KDA, which is mid, as MJF said. Not bad, but not good enough either. A 69.9% kill participation. Nice. 22.8 kill shares with a 17.8 deaths and an 8.5 CS per minute with a 745 damage per minute. 745 damage per minute. I believe that makes him the second highest damage dealer among mid laners besides Quid among playoff teams. who, by the way, MSI teams that make the playoffs. That is impressive. Also, you factor in 26.9% of your damage percentage, and you're being the third best player among damage percentage. Of course, second behind Knight in terms of regional pride, and of course, Knight is pretty much good right now, so not even gonna do anything. 20.9% of the goal being taken, and then zero point 0.5 wards per minute, and then 0.27 wards cleared. So if you look at all the stats, I think Cream has been having a phenomenal season, in my opinion, in my eyes. I think you say that he is probably the reason why, you know, top esports are where we are right now. I think he has been pretty good, of course, on this team, and I think it's going to be he and Tian, which of course the mid jungle synergy is going to be more important. And also, of course, the jungle support is going to be really important with Feng Yue being there. But I think the mid jungle support is pretty good. If you're a jungler and your mid synergy is really good, I think your team have a chance. If you don't, that's going to lose you like billions of games, of course. I think Cream is going to have a pretty decent MSI tournament, and I will be wrong if I say that. So I put him in A right now. I'm just gonna put him in A right now. I think Cream is just decently good. Where do I put Cream on the standings right now? Top three, I am not sure. I'm not sure because you're gonna face up against Knight. Oh, Faker. My God, Faker is in the elevator room. I will get blasted by T1 fans of where I put Faker in, but that will be the T1 preview if it comes. Is he better than Knight? Not even close. If he's better than Zeka, not even close. I think third place is fine. I think top three is fine for him right now. I think top three is really good enough for where he is right now. And that's pretty much where I put it. Now it is time for the former 2018 World Champion, Jackie freaking Love. He just returned, of course, from his hiatus. And in his very first game, he was awful. Completely and objectively awful. But that was just rust. He got through it. He, of course, overcome it and post a 4.2 KDA, which, okay, not the greatest KDAs in the world, but fine. It's pretty much decent and better than 40% of all ADCs playing the playoffs, of course. He's got a 65 kill participation at 30.6 kill shares, which is second, by the way, to Pays on 30.7. He also got a 19.6 death percentage, of course, which is pretty astronomically high for a player like him, which means he got into the lot most of the times and also being a little bit aggressive. He's got 10.1 CS per minute, 776 damage per minute, which is okay, but not as close to like your Gumi UC, and you're not as close as your Vipers and your Gumi UCs and your Berserkers and your Callista of the world. So he's probably top 5 in all ADCs in terms of damage per minute, and he has let me just see, Akeem 27.6 damage percentage, which is around a decent good ballpark in terms of ADCs. In fact, I think he is third among ADCs besides, Yawn and AU. Huh. Okay, I didn't realize that. And of course, you got your gold. Of course, he's have a 27.2 gold percentage and then 0.39 wards per minute and 0.37 wards clear per minute. So I think you can say that Jackie Love is back. Oh, I'm a dumbass. I forgot to do the champion pool. Oh. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So your boy here forgot to do the champion pool for each of the players to analyze what champion's gonna play and how it's gonna sort out go to MSI. So I forgot about that. So I'm sorry. But we're gonna do Jackie Love and then we're gonna go through the rest of the players. So think of this as me analyzing Jackie Love with the rest of the players, okay? Just put I'm just gonna put this on my preview, of course. So Jackie Love, by the way, his champion pool, and we're gonna focus on the champion pool for this specific patch until the finals patch, of course. Oh, boy, oh boy. Okay, so 16.7, which by the way, he hasn't played much. So he's good on the Ash. easily. Of course, everybody playing Ash. He used to be good on Corki, but I think Corki has fell off of favor. Yanara, Jin, he's on. Well, okay, let's be honest. Jin players are just not it, man. And is what he's good at, of course. He's also good at illusion sometimes and misfortune sometimes. So in terms of like how the champion pool was set up during MSI, I think you can say that Ash and Yanara and sadly Jin, maybe Israel gonna be involved in there. And then if you want to go further, maybe a Caitlyn or Sivir or Ziggs and Misfortune if you feel lucky. So his champion pool is kind of like thin, of course, to many of the players, but I think you can say that what he has done, of course, with your Ashes and your Yanaras and even your Jins, it's like he's pulling decent numbers. And Israel, of course, he can actually pull up decent numbers, and I think he's pretty good enough to compete with the other ADCs. Now let's look at the other players from the top esports before I get to like ranking and do all stuff. Zuan, by the way, is in the top lane, and if we look at the champion pool that he has, for a 21-year-old playing his very first MSI tournament, I think he's looking at really nervous. Like, okay, Jay's top, okay, fine, but Jay's top works, great, but if it doesn't, it fell off completely. He also played Ambessa. He also played Cassante, Rumble, Nar, Scion, a little bit of Olaf, a little bit of Renekton, Fane just a little bit. And I think these are the champions that I feel like right now they are a bruiser, aggressive, in your face style of champions with a little bit of Vayne, of course, in it, which means that he's always an aggressive top laner, a really aggressive top laner, which I think sets the tone to how this team might play. And because this is the LPL team, they're always going to be so aggressive all the time. And they can capitalize on, like, let's just say T1 being circusy some of the times. I think that might benefit for them. I think that might benefit for them. So I think you could say that with his champion pool, I think Zuan has a chance. And finally for Tian, by the way, okay. Yikes. Okay, I'm gonna go through. All right there. For Tian, by the way, if we look at his champion pool, by the way, he has been. I mean, he's been a wild, by the way. He's been he's been pretty much a wild. So okay, 60.7. There you go. He played the Jin Zhao's, Vi, Jarvan, Pantheon, Wukong, Lee Sin, which by the way is gonna get absolutely gutted, of course, in MSI, of course. Tron on the Fury. We haven't seen much Garner, of course, and Nocturne also getting kicked. So and one Maka game. That's it. So aggressive junglers, but of course they might get shifted away from the aggressive style of jungling to probably the bruiser style of jungling, which means he's probably gonna play some Sejuanis or get Trundles or Wukongs of the world, and I think that's gonna be fine for him because he knows, of course, and he's been playing decently well with those style of champions. But is it going to help Cream, you know, elevate his game plan and all the kind of stuff? That's going to be the question. Um, Maybe we can look at Cream. Maybe we'll look at Cream just a little bit. Or do I? I think I have Cream. I think I already talked about Cream already. Okay, no, I don't think I talked about Cream already. So we're gonna talk Cream just a little bit about how these champion pools kind of help them, of course. And if we look at 16.07, you got the Annie, of course. He also does well. Azir, which fall off a favor. Aurora is still there. Rise is there. Ari is still in the mix. Victor, Yoni sometimes. Cassiopeia sometimes. Oriana sometimes. And you can throw in a Akali, which I think he only played one Akali game, and he's fine. But it's like, I don't think he's an Akali guy. The way the champion pool is like, he's playing more Enchanter mid lane things, which is like Annie, Aurora, Rise, Ari, Victor, those kind of enchanted mid laners most of the time. And it works, of course, when you compare to an engaged style, jungler like Tian. And I think that's going to make this a difference. But with the entire MSI patch being changed, how will Cream play a playstyle? Will he go back to, will he be like more 80 carry mid laners? Of course, will he be more of a carry facilitator? Which, by the way, I think we can know that Cream can carry, but unfortunately, he could have some in-deeper moments. So I think that might be like where the trouble began. As for how Jackie Life will go, I think this is going to be. And sadly, my camera froze, of course, so that means I have to go pretty much blind for the rest of the entire stream. Okay, there you go. So as for Jackie Love, I think Jackie Love is still fine, but we consider that this is his first international tournament in a long while, and consider that he's not been the dominant Jackie Love that he used to be, and consider that he has been injured a lot. I think Jackie Love is going to be a B tier for me. I think he's going to be a B tier. And where do I put Jackie Love in the mid laners? I think top four is fine. I think top four is fine. Maybe top six. Okay, let me just look. Callista's stronger than him. Gumi Yushi stronger than him. Viper pays way stronger than him. So I think top five is fine. I think top five for Jackie Love is fine. Is he better than Hans Sama? Hmm. Is he better than Hans Sama? Right now, I think Hans Sama is doing well. Okay. You know what? I think Jackie Love is going to be in the top four for now. For now, anyways. And finally, for support, and we're going to go to Feng Wei. And before that, we're going to go to the champion pool of Feng Wei to find out how he plays throughout this split. There you go. And for Feng Wei, of course, support, by the way, he plays your Seraphines, your Lulus, your Namis, your Kamas, Nico, Milio, Alistar in some cases. Bard only once. He played one Bard and lost. When Bard is like the most dominant champion, he probably like all supports. That can be good. So this is like your more of your enchanter supports. Your Seraphines, your Lulus, your Namis, your Karmas, of course, in the world. You can play a little bit of engages, of course, and you can also play some CC, which your Nico and your Nautilus, of course, and Alistar, of course, and sometimes, and Emilio was a more enchanter. So he's more of an enchanter style support, which is kind of good, of course. His playmaking is going to be dictating how the ball lane will set up, of course, especially with Jackie Love. And I think it's going to be a really big challenge for him. It's going to be a really big challenge. This is probably his very first international event. We'll get to the numbers, of course, for some of them. But for Fang Yue, by the way, in support, he has a 5.1 KDA with a 77.2 kill participation, which is high for all MSI participants in the playoffs, except Core JJ, but that's a limited sample size, of course, with different games, but still not bad, of course. 3.9 kill share, of course, with the damage and everything else is kind of muted, of course. It supports. I don't think supports will do damage as all things should be, but wards per minute and wards clear per minute is very important. 2.09 to 0.4 in wards clear per minute. 2.99 is really, really extremely odd because I feel like wards being placed is going to be a huge difference in terms of visionaries, of course. Where does the jungler comes from? Where does the gank comes from? Is the gank coming and all kinds of stuff? So I think, supports putting in wards, setting up objective controls and all kinds of stuff is going to make a really big difference on how this entire game is going to be set up. And I think for Feng Yue being, I don't know who's a shot caller in this team, but if Feng Yue, no, I don't think Feng Yue is a shot caller in this team. Maybe Cream or Tien might do it. I think Tien is both be the leader of this team. But if Feng Yue can at least get some wards here or there, do something, make objectives, make the call, helping the support, and maybe help the ADC out, I think you can say that Feng Yue is going to have a really good matchup. First of all, he's nowhere better than Kyria. I think Kyria is like S tier for me. If I pick T1 right now, I said, Kyria is my S tier support by a mile. Busio is okay. I think he's better. I think Feng Yue is better than Busio. He could be hit or miss sometimes, but I think he's better. Maybe the light, he's better, of course. So I think you say that he's better than like three. He's better than Busio, but he's nowhere better than like the three best supports, of course, from the other regions. And therefore, I have to put him as squarely as the fourth best support in all MSI teams. And I'm gonna put him in. I don't know. I don't think A tier is perfect enough. I'll go B tier. Let's go B tier. Yeah, let's go B tier. And now it's time for us for the team analysis. The team analysis for this entire top esports roster. 1.26 KDA, 0.92 combined kills per minute, of course. No Chinese numbers on goal percentage, of course, nor the early game and mid late round games. We just don't know much about top esports in the mid early game round, but we know top esports aggression is going to be in full display, of course, whether you like it or not. So it is what it is. 1.40 goal spend per GSPD, which is goal spend. Yeah, goal spend percentage difference, which is a little high, not too high, of course. Not as worse as DCG or maybe T Law, of course, in goal spend, but it's fine, I guess. And you look at the numbers: First Blood 62%, which is completely high. second highest among other teams besides KC, which makes sense towards the bloodiness. 23 first towers, of course. We don't have the first three towers numbers for both teams, but it's fine. 46% on Herald, which is not strong, which is the second lowest beside Lion Gaming. So they don't do Herald as much, to be honest. With the same thing with I mean, Lion Herald is different because they don't play much of objectives. They are the slow grinding team that can just snap their fingers and make everything dominate in terms of T fight. But top esports is just a little different. 62% first death, of course. 57% dragon, of course, which is kind of mid. 73% on the Baron percentage, which is the third highest among other teams, which is pretty impressive, of course. The laning percentage is 50.4%. It's mid, it's decent and strong. Not the highest, not the lowest, but I think it's strong, of course. 52.5% in terms of jungle percentage, which is really good because consider how good TN has been around the jungle. That is kind of like at the upper echelons in how good a jungle is. 3.8 wards per minute, of course, and then 1.29 CWPM, which I have to look down, control wards per minute, which is actually huge in terms of vision and all kind of stuff. And for top esports experience and age, this is, by the way, the average age for this team is 22.6. This is Zuan's and Fang Yuan's first international tournament ever. Jackie Love, from his virtuosos victories, of course, in MSI in Worlds 2018, of course, being appearing into Worlds 2019, and haven't been there in a while. He's playing 118 games, which is more than Tian and Cream have combined. That's troubling, even for me. So that means 224 games between this team with an average age of 22.6. And by the way, I just watched a David Shynock video, by the way, comparing con- contrary to the belief that this is the oldest MSI we have on record in terms of average age among teams. And I'm going to say this, it's a little tangent, but I'm going to say this right now. It's that right now, League of Legends is just full of old people, which, let's be honest, I'm literally watching right now Kerrigan and Nico and Fallen dominating the CS space, of course. And by the way, if you're watching this right now, CS Major tomorrow, Falcons versus Furia. I have Furia actually winning, but I would love to see Nico winning as CSGO Major. But it is what it is. I mean, CSGO is a little bit different. Of course, we see it with old people playing the game, and of course, their knowledge and everything like that is huge. But it's the same old cliche with winning GMs, and it's not, and it's just, it's. I know it's just an LCS thing, but it's pretty much an everything thing. It's like let's grab the old player instead of just you know, nourish and develop some young, talented players. Like I get it. Fang Yuan and Zuan has little experience going to national events. They might get murked by some of the best top laners. But you never know on a day. You never know on a day. Like Diable, who by the way haven't been in a national event yet, unknown, and then popped two pentakills in the entire tournament on day one. In fact, he had a pentakill on day one, game one of the entire tournament. And that's how you make your name yourselves. You may be young in the eyes of many people, you may be unknown, and you may be getting an easy target for some of the players. But this is a tournament where you make your name for yourself and make your dough. So all I'm saying for all the GMs out there, just give the youngsters a chance. Because listen, I get that League of Legends is an old man's game. I'm getting a little older. Some of us are getting older. We have kids, and maybe people will be retiring, and that's no fun for me. But I just want to see the new generations, man. I want to see if I'm alive and well and being 30 years old. I want to see like the youngsters going in. I do want to see a world where we have to rely on Faker every year, and just like we're wishing if Faker retires, the game is dead. When you look at the NBA, you see like, oh, Jalen Brunson's cooking, and Shea Alexander is cooking, Wembanyama's cooking right now. And if James and all these other guys are tired, we're fine. NBA's fine. We're in League of Legends, and in different esports, it's like, oh, if Faker retires, oh no, League of Legends is doomed. How are we gonna, market to some of the younger players? We have to market Chovy right now. Oh wait, Chovy's not marketable? Well, we're screwed then. And that's my fear right now. That is my fear, of course. But tangent over. Let's talk about MSI appearances and best results. For the top esports, is their second MSI appearance ever. They only played 16 games and have a fifth and sixth finish in 2024, which is absolutely criminal. Criminal for them. That horrific fifth sixth finish in 2024 coincides with G2 Esports doing actually well in this tournament. But it's the typical thing with top esports. It's like they have the tendency to lose to teams that they were never expected to lose. And I would not be shocked if top esports were to lose to, let's just say, teams in Wales or something. Or, maybe Furia if they're lucky. That's going to be my feeling. I am not ready to say top esports are good unless they can show me a decent international performance. Which, by the way, in top esports history, I don't think so. But a guy can dream, I guess. And finally, to the road to MSI, how they got here. Top Esports finished with 8-6 in the regular season with an 18-2 score record and third place. They clean sweep LGD, clean sweep JDG, gentleman sweep, and then clean sweep WE before losing to BLG in the finals. Which, let's be honest, once BLG overcome the bogey team known as Team WE, nothing can stop BLG from winning another trophy. Nothing can stop them. So yeah, that is top esports for you guys. And where do I put top esports? I think top esports is a tricky team. I think you could say that some of the players, your Fangways, your Zoans, are kind of like unknown. And Jackie Love is a veteran player, but he hasn't been in an international event in a long while. And Cream and Tien has to step up. Cream and Tien has to step up. I think Cream and Tien is going to be the two main players that can make this top esports team work. Where do I put them? I think you could say that Hollow Life Esports and BLG are coming like 1 and 2 in terms of the top. T1 is a tricky one because I don't know where they are because of how their game plan is. I think you say that top esports could be my top 5 team. I think it'll be. I think they're my top 3 team. I think I'm gonna say this top esports are my top 3 team, but we all know that just because top esports are a top 3 team does not mean they're suspectable of failure in most cases. This is a team that needs to prove himself on the international stage for me to be wrong. That's all I needed to know. Tommy's supposed to have to prove me wrong, or there's another doormat to your name on it, and it's not looking great. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes Top Esports' preview, by the way. And I think it's fun, previewing a really decent, good team to have a chance to go to MSI. But back of my mind, I feel like, internationally, they're not looking great. But I wanted to know what you think. Do you think Top Esports will make it far in this tournament, or will they fall on their faces again? Let me know in the comments. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 6 teams remaining to preview for this tournament. I will see you all tomorrow. Enjoy Father's Day, everybody. Happy Father's Day, Dad. And I will see you all soon.